Hello, my name is Madison and I hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's video, I'm going to talk about breathing techniques and why I love them and how you can use them to really get the most out of them. Yes, I know this probably is not new for you, but you don't have to use this necessarily as a teaching, but more as a reminder, or maybe you'll learn a new technique you can use, or maybe you'll just be inspired by this and try something different out. These breathing techniques are very simple, which is great, but it can often be lost in the mumble jumble of other spiritual practices. You know, being a spiritual person is very not simple. And, you know, sometimes you're having out-of-body experiences, or you are searching inwards for knowledge and understanding that you don't know you know. And that's not very simple at all. So it's really easy to kind of forget about the simple things, but also to regard it as not effective and not a good thing to use. And I'm here to remind you that breathing is a very great tool to use and very efficient. And it is just as powerful as some of the other more intense experiences and practices that you do too. It doesn't have to be challenging, and you don't have to experience resistance for it to be profound and meaningful. I've had some very eye-opening and kind of like awakening moments, but they were difficult, and it was more like work. I've been in some meditations where I'm working and it's not relaxing. It's work and it's beautiful, but it's still work. But this, it's like you get the benefit, but it's relaxing and it's calming. And don't get me wrong, I love those meditations and I love those moments, but they're not right for every single moment, right? You can't just go into a meditation and fill yourself with love when you're nervous for a test, or if you're about to have a really tough conversation with someone. So this is something that's a lot more applicable to your everyday life and a really great tool, a really effective tool just for your daily interactions. I love utilizing breathing techniques, and I'll get to those in a moment, because they ground me and they help me remember what I am, that I am the light, and what I'm a part of, the earth I'm a part of, and of what I'm a part of, and all of the support I have, not just down here, but in the other realms, and how loved I am, and how connected I am to everything. And that's an amazing feeling, right? That in itself brings so much peace and centeredness, if that's a word, and love and joy. And it all comes very quickly too, right? You don't have to go into a 30-minute meditation or go for a walk or something. You can do it anywhere and very, very quickly. I found too, depending on the techniques I'm using and some other components, I can feel really empowered and I can really feel confident. I know I utilize breathing before tests, and I will go to a bathroom stall before I take my test at school, and I will do one of the breathing techniques I'm about to show, and I put my hands on my hips like a superhero, and I just breathe, and I just connect to my body, and I do well on the tests, always, right? Because it's always within, it comes from within. If you're feeling confident, and if you're feeling powerful and sure of yourself, it always works out very well. Obviously, there's a bunch of breathing techniques you can use, and all of them are really great. But I have selected 3 that I love and that I use all the time, and that I think are really easy to remember too, which is important because I think this isn't a problem with a lot of other spiritual practices, that it can be really great and profound, but if you don't really remember how to do it, or it's not very easy to do, what does it really matter? And because all of these teachings and practices and stuff, they're meant to be applied, right? They're meant to help you in your life, not to just, like, you're not meant to just know this stuff, right? You need to actually be able to use it. So breathing techniques, and I think specifically these ones, are very easy to use. The first breathing technique, and this one is very well known, is breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, and then breathing out for either 4 or 6 or 8 or really however long you want. I personally love using this one because it really draws your attention to your breath because you have to concentrate on it, right? So especially if you're overthinking or nervous, it's really great kind of to get your mind off of whatever you're trying to get your mind off of. And it looks like this. Breathing in for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, and exhaling for however long. I like to breathe out of my mouth because I can get more air out, and I think it's just a bit more, like you can kind of sigh more and kind of release more, but you can really do whatever you want. The second one is often used in yoga, so if you're familiar with yoga or you've been practicing, then you've probably learned it before, and it's using your nostrils, and it goes like this. You take your 2 fingers and you close one nostril, and you breathe in. Then when you're at the top, I would hold for about 2 to 5 seconds. And then once you've done that, switch your nostrils so you have closed the one that was open before, and breathe and exhale out of the other one. Like the previous breathing technique, I would suggest breathing in for 4 to 5 to 6 seconds, and holding, like I said, for about 2 to 5 seconds at the top, and then exhaling for around half to double what you did before. This one, like I said before, is really good for grounding and releasing and for stress, but it's also great because it works on both sides of your brain, so your right and your left, and it balances it out, or it evokes one of them, or maybe it helps you stop overthinking, or depending on what else you do, it can maybe help with some creativity. So it's a really great all-around breathing technique. My third favorite starts by breathing in and breathing out 3 times. So in through your nose and out through your mouth. Do that 3 times. And remember, you don't have to be quiet when you're doing this. Like, totally let it out. This is your time to release and let go and make some noise. So don't be afraid of really going like and sighing. It's totally normal and totally good. It's actually a really good thing to do, and it actually increases the benefits of it. After taking 3 big deep breaths in and out, take the tip of your tongue and stick it to the roof of your mouth. Then do the same thing again. So breathe in, breathe up. This can be slow. This can be however you want it to be. And do it again 3 times. I like to do the 3 deep breaths, just the normal ones, and then I go to 3 with my tongue, and then I switch. So then I go back to 3 normal, and then again I do it with the tongue. And I find putting the tip of my tongue to the roof of my mouth, I find I always yawn when I do it, so if you do too, it's normal. And I also find it's a bit more challenging because I think biologically it's a bit difficult to breathe in and out with your mouth open and closed, with your tongue on the roof of your mouth. So it doesn't have to be done as much as the other 2, where you can spend a lot of time doing those ones, but this I only do for a couple cycles, and then I usually either move into a meditation or regular deep breathing. Like everything in life, it's not what you're doing, but how you're doing it. So when you're doing these, focus on your breath. Imagine the air going in, filling your lungs, traveling through your body, oxygenating your cells and your muscles and your bones, and then exhaling and releasing everything that doesn't serve you or that you don't want, or any thoughts, or even just the day It doesn't just have to be breathing. Have fun with it. Use your imagination. I know I love doing that. Do you see colors? Do you see shapes? Do you maybe see something? Or are you just focusing on your breath and how it feels and the sound of it and where it's going in your body, right? That's just as important as the actual breathing itself, and that's how you're going to get the most benefit out of it. I tend to get in my head a lot, so I use deep breathing to ground myself and connect myself with who I am and what's important. So when I'm deep breathing, I like to imagine roots coming up from the earth and my energy from my body connecting with those roots. And then I like to kind of feel and watch the roots come up into my body and go through my bones and my muscles and connect me with the heart of the earth. And that really works for me, but whatever works for you, right? This is very personal and it's kind of what you need. If maybe now you're wondering, when do I use this? And so really you can use it whenever you want, even if you're bored. Sometimes when I'm around the house and just doing nothing, I'll just start deep breathing for fun, kind of, because it's relaxing and it's very grounding. But there are situations when using this is very effective. For example, before I start a meditation, I kind of segue into it by using these techniques, especially the one where you put your tongue to the roof of your mouth. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But it's a great segue, it kind of relaxes you. And sometimes I also use it as a gentle meditation, just the breathing itself. If I'm kind of feeling a little like airy, I usually will do this instead of like a guided meditation or just any kind of other meditation. Like I said before, I use breathing techniques before any kind of stressful event. For me, I don't really have a ton of stress in my life, but school is one of them. So if I'm taking a test or maybe I have to do a presentation, I will quickly, before I'll run to the bathroom, and like I said, I'll put my hands on my hips and I will breathe in and out, and that really helps me. Maybe if you have a job interview or a really difficult conversation, kind of just anything like that, it's really great. I also like using this for internal reflection. When you focus on your breath, you're really kind of forced to pay attention to your body and look inward. And so this is a really great way to kind of explore yourself, and maybe you're kind of searching for something or an answer. This is really great. Or I get too into my head, right? And I go into my body a bit, and I just need to, sometimes you just need to come back down, right? So this is really great if you're wanting to do some work inside. And specifically the breathing technique where you put your tongue to the roof of your mouth. I love using that before I connect or talk to my spirit guides or my angels, or if I'm asking a question, because it brings the awareness of your seventh chakra into your consciousness, which obviously is very important when you are wanting to communicate and interpret what your guides are telling you. Though this is a very versatile tool, you don't have to use it every single moment you're stressed. I get so frustrated with some spiritual teachers and some spiritual teachings because they make it seem like you have to always be perfect and you have to always use what you're being taught. And you always have to remember, and you always have to let go. And it's no, you don't. You don't always have to use these things. You're human, right? Being a spiritual person doesn't mean you're not human. So it's okay to not always feel like calming yourself down. It's okay to not always want to ground. It's okay to not always be grounded. It's really okay. It's okay to feel emotions and hold on to them for a little while. That's okay. It's all okay, right? It's just more, this is a good tool to use if you want to let go and if you are ready to let that part of you go. I don't know, say you have a really stressful event, or maybe there's a person in your life that is very difficult to let go of. Hold on to them as long as you want. And when you're ready, you'll know when you're ready to hold on, when you're ready to let go of them. And you can use this to let them go, or to aid in letting them go as a tool. that can help you let them go. But you don't have to be perfect all the time. You don't always have to use this when you're stressed. And don't get mad at yourself if you don't always use this, right? The purpose and the intention behind these breathing techniques is just as an aid, a helpful hand when you want it. It doesn't always have to be used. So if you want to feel angry, feel angry. Sometimes I actually enjoy feeling those feelings because it reminds me of how alive I am and of how human I am. And that is completely okay. So don't use this because you think you need to. Use this because you want to and because you're ready. I really, really, really hope this helped you and reminded you of a tool that is always here for you, or maybe you learned something new and maybe just brought a smile to your face. So hope this helped. I wish you a very, very lovely day. I want you to know that there's always someone here. There is always someone rooting for you, and you have got this. It can be hard. It can be very hard on this journey, but you've got this. Have a great day.